Welcome to episode 6 of the Be More podcast. And our co-host is back in the room, people. Mr. Simon Hill, how are you doing, sir?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very, very well. Can you see me? Let's move it a little bit more. And
strong camera placement.
you mainly want it on me because I'm far greater looking than Simon Hill, but this is also a podcast, so you can't really see me unless you're watching on YouTube. And you're a true, YouTuber. Talk to me about January, Simon.
So, Jack and I were talking today and saying it is the end of January already, and...
Wait, how are you doing in January?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
No, I want you to tell me how your January goals are going.
So, I set quite a few bits and pieces. I'm doing a marathon in April, which I always wanted to do a marathon at 30. So, I'm 30 in March. I'm doing a marathon in April. Not ready just yet. However, I have probably done about 80% of the training that I should have been doing.
What is your training schedule for the running? What's your intentions with the training? Basically,
I've got when you sign up through a charity and that sort of things, which I'm doing, they send you a training schedule. I'm following that pretty loosely, but...
And what is that?
Basically around times I can do. It's 5 runs a week, but it's 3 shorter runs and 2 longer runs at the weekend.
And how long are the short ones?
So shorter runs are between 10 and 15 kilometres. And so
that's still a good hour run, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the longer runs are between 15 and 25.
And how are the long ones feeling?
Pretty sore. I only had a few of them. Yeah, no, they're pretty tough. However, it's just a numbers game, isn't it? Just got to get it done. So yeah, just trying to get them in. Didn't manage to do it this weekend, but so I've just got to move things around this week basically, just to fit it in around work and family life.
And lifting, because you're still trying to lift, aren't you, about 4 or 5 times a week?
Absolutely.
So you're a very busy man at the moment, and how is that?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and got quite a few goals I want to achieve for work and outside work, and I'm definitely making progress. But I guess from what we were saying earlier today is we don't realise end of January you're 12th of the way through the year, so 8.33% of the way through the year, and it's a good time to sit, plan, or evaluate the rest of the year. Are you on track? What do you need to do? What do you need to increase to hit your goals? Is your goals realistic, etc.? And then evaluate what you've done so far, what's worked, what hasn't worked, where you need to improve, and that sort of thing. So,
have you done that?
Well, literally from today. That's my plan is the next 2 days to evaluate that before we meet on Wednesday.
Interesting, and we have a very interesting guest on Wednesday, so that should go live next week.
Do you want to say who it is, or are we going to keep it quiet?
Obviously going to be a surprise.
Okay, good times.
He's very, well, yes, we should share who it is.
No, I think we should give some teasers. So, our guest on Wednesday owns a very successful supplements company, and the way they do business is really, really, really interesting, and there's a lot of people can learn from their model, and I think the way they treat their customers, the way they treat resellers, their branding, their marketing strategy. There's a lot of real positives about the way they've done it. It's very well thought out. The products, obviously a hugely competitive industry, but I think from what I've seen, products they've got and the way they make them different is really, really exciting and very cool. And I don't think we should say any more, but it's really excited about revealing on Wednesday.
Yeah, what will be shared will not just be relevant for business owners, but also for just general. Even if you're in a job, it's just the skills and what they apply into their business to make it work. If you apply that into even being in a job, it will help you excel far greater than you would if you're not doing the things that they're doing. They're just making people happy, which is obviously a huge criteria in the success that you have, whether you're employed, self-employed, running a business, or no matter what you're doing. It's obviously such a key ingredient. So
I think a lot of what they do, which is what everyone should do but maybe doesn't do, is they deliver on what they say they're going to do. If you order a product and it says it's going to be there on Wednesday, it is there on Wednesday, and it's packaged well. anything I've ever bought from them. I've never had to send anything back. I've never had a complaint. If you look at like their reviews and that side of things, everything is systemized. It's really efficient. It's very quick, and the communication's really good. Which I think for most businesses, and also if you've got a job, you want to stand out and be the best that you can be within what you do for a living, or outside of what you do for a living. Then there's some really good sort of morals and values and standards to hold yourself to.
I think they're the kind of things that they go without saying, but you don't realise how much of a difference it makes and how little you see it. And then that's why these businesses that do it, they stand out, because the value they offer is just, it's what you expect as a customer. So if you treat customers how you expect to be treated, then you're going to win in business, as long as your product's good. And their product is really good, it tastes nice.
For example, so on Friday, I went shopping and I was saying to Jack, I went absolutely mental. I bought so much stuff that I didn't intend to buy. And one of the things I bought was like a really nice pair of shoes, so they were 200 quid. And I bought a matching belt for £95. But I so nearly walked out the shop without having bought them. So I've been looking at these shoes for ages, keep walking past the shop, and stroll in and think, I quite fancy buying them. Don't end up doing it. And then this on Friday, went in, saw the shoes, was like, right, quite like them, quite fancy buying them. Just looking at them, no one spoke to me. Suddenly, a woman came over, was like, can I help you? Yes, you can. I'm really interested in these. Do you do them? Half sizes. This is what I need. Done. £300 spent there and then, which it was on a knife edge whether I did or didn't buy them. But just because somebody did their job, spoke to me, gave me really good customer service, I ended up spending £300 that I probably didn't need to spend on a pair of shoes I've wanted for ages. However, in contrast to what I just said, a load of things I wanted to do in January I've been able to do and I've achieved, and as a result I think it's really important to evaluate what you've done but also to reward yourself for what you've achieved. And I guess what I bought on Friday was a way of rewarding myself for the things I've done, what I've achieved and that side of things to keep me on task.
Yeah. I like that a lot. How else can you reward yourself though without things? Because I did a post just on Instagram about experiences over things. I'm not buying shit anymore. I'm done with it. Like I've been someone who would always buy like things to try and make me happy, and then you quickly realise you just spend lots of money on things and they don't actually change your level of happiness. It's actual experiences for me that outweigh things. But everyone's different, like, and I think that's super cool as well. Like how it's subjective. What makes you happy as a person? I think that's what you should do. So you should go and chase the things you want, and if you're successful and you do really well and you're proud of what you've done, then treat yourself with something that's subjective to you. It's what you want to do, not what you think would impress someone else.
So actually on Friday after I bought those shoes, I took my daughter out for dinner.
Oh.
She absolutely loves this one restaurant. So I took her there. She gets so excited. And they've got like a little scooter outside, and we must have been there 30 times, but every time we go there, her little face, she gets so excited about this scooter that's outside. She jumps on it, sits there, she wants her picture taken. So I guess that's the non-materialistic thing that I did on Friday after achieving what I wanted to achieve, was reward myself and her with like a daddy-daughter date, which is pretty cool.
Essential. Nice. Let's talk about the 5 things we wanted to give tips on to help people if they're not doing so well with their 2018 goals, and if they're listening to this now thinking, you two are pricks if you're seeing success because I'm not. What can we help you with to make you work towards the things that you were intending to work towards, but for whatever reason it hasn't happened? Because that's normal. The majority of people are struggling with January New Year's resolutions because it isn't easy. It is difficult, and you have to have things in place that you do almost every day to set you up for the wins that you're going to have.
So first couple of things you've pretty much mentioned in a way, which is plan what you want to achieve. You've got to have a goal, you've got to have plan, you've got to have a measured way of achieving, or yardsticks of achieving what you want to achieve. Set it out and basically pretty much break it down into daily tasks of what you need to do in order to hit your massive goal that you want to achieve. So first one I'd say that we discussed was plan. The second one you've got to do is evaluate. So now's a really good time. loads of people, December, first week of January, they plan what they want to do for the year, and then probably hit to this sort of time of year now, and they've either not achieved anything they want to achieve, or they just sort of bumble along, and then the next time they'll look at it is November, December, or January 2019, when they look at it and go, yes, I did or didn't achieve it. You know, you've got to keep making sure that you evaluate what you've done to make sure you stay on task. So second one probably be evaluate. Third one we discussed was reward yourself. So make sure that you reward yourself, whether it is materialistic or whether it's experiences or whatever it is. Just make sure that there's a reward for achieving what you've achieved.
Yeah, it doesn't even. You don't have to have this huge plan or huge goal. Obviously, everyone's subjective in what they want to achieve out of what they're doing this year. You haven't got to think, oh, I've got Jack and Simon telling me I've got to have this huge goal, I've got to have this huge plan. Like, it can be something so small. It just can be, I want to feel better in myself, which is that's amazing. That's going to be the best thing you can do this year, because that's going to accelerate everything else in your life. It hasn't got to be, oh, I've got to make this much money, or it hasn't got to be, I've got to get this kind of level of job or this kind of level of income. That's not what we're talking about. But that's a materialistic way to try and drive something that isn't going to actually make you any happier. That isn't what we're trying to suggest. What we're trying to say is, what can you do to make you more productive, more happy, and just get more shit done, make you feel better, and be in general just a better human for other people to be around, and spread a positive energy to help to be a better person in society. And I think that's what we're trying to encourage, not to be like, oh, you've got to have this master plan and you've got to do these little things daily. Like, it could be a little thing like, just do something like a random act of kindness, like go and buy a homeless person a sandwich, or it could be just a smile to someone as you go up the stairs, or open the door for someone. These are little things that we all just forget in society, and that's why everyone's just like stuck on their phones, or they're just they're part of this rat race where they think, oh, I have to go and build this master plan and build this business. So you haven't got to do that. That isn't the key to happiness. The key to happiness is doing what you want to do, and being a good person and making other people happy and spreading the good energy. That's, for me, that's what I would say. Like, I used to have these big goals, where I want to strive for a certain income or do something, but then you find that all you're doing is working to try and fuel something that really is just monitoring. It isn't actually success. So I think what you need to understand is, we aren't trying to say you have to do this. What we're trying to unlock is, and be the catalyst of, is unlocking you and your greatest potential to do what you want to do. And I think that's what not enough people are actually actively doing, because they're stuck in this rat race of working in a job that they're not really sure that they actually like doing, and they go into that job with the wrong mindset of, I'm not sure this is what I want to do. And even if it isn't what you want to be doing, if you go in there and approach it with a positive mindset, the chances are you might actually enjoy it, and then everyone around you will enjoy it more, and then all of a sudden you've got a much more, it's just a greater recipe for success in the workplace that you're in. And I think it's all down to the way you see things, and I think that's one of the most important points of the 5 we were going to talk about, was the way you see things. And obviously the other 2 things that we didn't even mention with regards to, like, not to do with planning at all, it's just the way you feed your body and the way you exercise. Like, people take this for granted as something that makes a huge difference in how we operate as humans. Like, we're designed to be healthy and exercise and eat good foods and just feel good, and we're not designed to sit on the sofa and eat shit all day and eat like heaps of sugar and processed foods, and we wonder why we just feel crap and then operate and perform like shit because we feel shit. So I think the greatest thing you'll do, forget about planning, would be just to generally eat more fruit and vegetables and go to the gym or do something healthy like exercise. Like, Simon started with how much exercise he's doing, and it sounds like he's doing a lot, but you'll be surprised about how much more productive he is in his job because of the exercise that he's doing. Like we spoke about in periods of his life last year where I wasn't here, and before he started training with me, his business was successful, but he wasn't performing nowhere near as well as he is now, and he has less time in his day because he's exercising. But is that right? Like, you're much more productive and much more positive thinking and creative because you're exercising and you're treating your body in a good way. You're trying to eat well, and you're being like proactive with that, and you'll be surprised that your body is like what you do.
Yeah, plus for me as well, like everyone knows or can work out what personality type they've got. For me, I'm either 100% or pretty much 0%, and so if I'm exercising loads and doing the right exercise and tracking what I'm doing, then quite often my nutrition and that side of things would be pretty much in line with it, whereas then other times when I'm not training, then I'll just eat rubbish and that side of things. So the whole effect is completely magnified. You know, and like Jack said, is massively. I've definitely noticed a difference when I'm exercising, like now doing this marathon training and that side of things. I feel so much better, and I'm eating so much better, and yeah, the rewards are just 10 times over in terms of my focus, concentration. One of the other things that I think I took from Friday actually is gratitude. So like, I'm massively grateful for the fact that I've been in a position, had the health and all the rest of it to achieve what I've achieved during January, during last year, etc., etc. Sometimes you have these moments where it's brought home to you, so really morbid, but on Friday I was driving to Ocean Village in Southampton, and I saw loads of people running to the side of the bridge, and basically somebody had unfortunately jumped. But I saw these people running over, and I was like, right, there's all these people here, you know, the person's obviously down below. Are they going to be on their own? Is there going to be somebody with them? That sort of thing. So I literally drove as quickly as I could down to the bottom, and I got there while the first police officer was putting on their gloves. Absolutely horrific, horrendous what I saw, and I did see, unfortunately, in the paper on Friday night that the lady had passed away. So a 59-year-old lady passed away. But instantly, as soon as I had seen that and tried to do everything I could to help, called my wife to say, you know, all the things you want to say, because moments like that do massively make you appreciate what you have in life, make you appreciate how grateful you are for the fact that you don't feel like that, you don't feel you need to do those sorts of things, and maybe for your friends and family, and grateful for you know, the opportunities you've got, and maybe mental stability, mental health you've got, physical capabilities that you've got. So yeah, there's moments like that that hugely make me hugely grateful, and really bring it home. And I was really cut up on Friday actually for a couple of hours because of what I'd seen. Took me a while to get my head around it, but I think any experience like that, you've got to use it as a positive, and definitely for me, for the next, you know, week and ongoing, I will definitely remember that. But I'll be grateful that, you know, I did everything I could to try and help that person, or help the people who were helping them to do what was needed to be done at the time.
Just those things alone, just training, nutrition and gratitude, will change your life. So you haven't got to have a master plan. You haven't got to think like anything else other than them three things. And if you implement them into your day every day, you'll live a better life. It's just, but then it's so sad that we have to almost get unhealthy to realise that, hang on a minute, we should be treating our body differently, or we should have to see someone jump off a bridge for us to find our way forward to make us grateful. Whereas if you put things in place to make sure that you're doing gratitude every single day. Like one of my clients this year, she's amazing. This year, I said to her, what's your goals for January? So when I saw her the other day in her session, and she was like, I'm going to try and do a random act of kindness every single day this year. And I was just like, okay, can you talk me through that? And she was just like, I'm just going to try and do something for someone, or for somebody else every single day that they're not expecting, to try and make their day better. And I was just like, there should be more people in this world that are trying to do that kind of thing. I just thought that was amazing. And then she was just like, I just feel so grateful. And this woman works, and she's got like a really stressful job, and like some people could perceive her, what she does, to be really hard and difficult, but she's like, yeah, it's stressful, but at the end of the day, it could be so much worse, and I'm grateful to do what I do and get a chance to do what I do and earn the money and have a job and live in a nice place. And people perceive like where we live to be like cold, wet, and I know I was moaning about it when I got back from Australia, but it is a nice place, and people take it for granted, and also things like just everything. People have we're not grateful like in this today's era, it would seem, for what we have, and it's just a shame. So I think if you can start treating your body like you only get one, that'll be a great start, because we only get one body. So if you're eating shit, you're going to feel shit, and then you're going to perform shit, and it's just going to have a negative effect on everything. So like Simon said, most people are all or nothing. So with that being said, then start eating better, start exercising a bit more, even if it's just doing 10,000 steps a day. And every single morning think of 3 things that you're grateful for, and then go and start your day. And then before you go to bed, think of 3 more things, and tell someone in the day how grateful you are for them. Send them a text message. Like, these little things go such a long way, but we don't do them anymore. And it's just a shame.
Really interesting, like, good point, because so last week there was somebody that I did a random act of kindness for, and actually initially they were really grateful and they pretty much threw it back in my face afterwards. But the person, although they were getting something out of what I was offering, the person who really got something out of it was me. So the fact that that it ended up going wrong and that it had an impact on me, actually I still got so much out of it, and I'd 100% would do it again. 100% I'd do it again, even though it didn't quite plan out how I wanted it to or how I'd expected it to. I was the one who benefited massively overall, and I'm sure
100%. Yeah, you can't control how other people feel, but you can go out, you can actively be a good person, and then if they're having a bad day and they don't take what you've done for them in the best way, that they'll eventually will. And all you can do is just do what you can do to be a good person, I think, and that's, if you start doing that and acting like that, and if you wake up in the morning, like I said earlier about the way you perceive things, if you wake up in the morning and think, today I'm going to be this, and this person should be the person that you expect yourself and want yourself to be, go out and act like that person, and you'll be surprised how different you'll operate. Like, if you see some of the things that you do, and I know if I look back on things that I was doing previously, I'll be like, what the fuck was I doing then? And it's not until you actually sit down and reflect and realise, like, what do I want to actually do, and how do I want to, I know it sounds quite deep, but I think when I was in Australia, I was like, when I'm at home, all I seem to do is work, and I just get in a, like, I was speaking in a podcast before I even went about not being in the rat race, when I was more guilty of it than anyone. All I was doing was working. I live at home with my dad, and I'd like slam the door on him saying, oh, I'm working, don't come in, and it would just be like, what? I'm being an arsehole. And I feel like I'm working on my to-do list so much that it takes away everything from the person I actually want to be, and so that made me realise a lot of things. So it isn't just about being this productive guru who gets all this shit done. That means fuck all if you're being a dick in the process to the people that mean the most to you, and I think that's what you need to realise, and I think that's probably good advice. Sounds like good advice to me. What great advice that is from me. Strong. So they're the 5 things, I think, aren't they? What were they again? So exercise, gratitude, eating healthy, having a plan, because it's so important, but having balance with that plan, and not thinking that it's like a plan the plan will evolve and it will change, and that plan should be with your training, the exercise that you do. Like, just write down a horrendous workout, because if you can go and do that, everything else in the day will be so easy and so straightforward, because that's going to challenge you, and then you'll go into work and you'll be like, do that first thing in the morning. I guarantee if you start training in the morning or doing something for yourself before you go and do your other stuff and start to sell other people, and you'll just be you'll get more shit done. You will, and you'll think, oh, I need that extra hour in bed. Trust me, you won't need that extra hour in bed. If you're exercising, you'll gain extra hours of clarity and of creativity, and it will change your life if you start doing that. And something that I really want to try this year is, I've said to Tom a few things that I want to try and do. I'm always thinking of these stuff, but I want to start meditating. I want to go and learn a martial art. I want to do like an intense course in Thailand, I think, where I go and learn that. I'm like Tom, I'm all or nothing, but I think you have to do these things. Surely, if I'm young and I want to go and experience these things, and if I feel like I'll come back a better person as a result of doing it, then I can give more value to other people around me, then that's something I feel like I should go and do. And I also want to go on a moped through fucking Vietnam, like the craziest things, but these experiences will change me, and I think that's what I want to go and do. That's why I read every day, and why I try and learn, because I spent like 23 years thinking that once you are an adult, that is it. That you can't learn, that you are this, that's just who you are. And I didn't realise that we're just beginning. And I think the gym taught me that, because I would take my body from where it was into where it is now, and that was a process where I've improved, and I was like, well, hang on a minute, I can improve this, so why can't I improve my headspace and my brain and what I know and how I can be, and just general, because I don't think people do seem to think that when they become an adult, that's it. They've finished school, they've finished college, they're going to get a job, and they're done then. And for me, that idea that paralysed me, and I was like, that doesn't sound like fun. I don't want to be stuck in a job that I don't really want to do forever. I want to experience things, and I want to create powerful moments and not keep buying things. That's something I've tried to stop doing, just buying shit all the time. And I'm trying to clear all of my outgoings at the moment, so I literally have hardly any outgoings and just a backpack. I'm even going to get rid of my car, I think, so I can just have a backpack of stuff. almost living like a minimalist lifestyle, but still having fun and doing things that I want to enjoy, but not validating myself on my car or my apartment or my girlfriend or my... Obviously I haven't got one of them, so that's fucking easy. Or it's just little things, but you do it. You think, oh, I've got. If you've got a really hot or worldly missus or whatever, then that makes me cool. When in reality it doesn't, because if they're a dick, then it makes you fucking melt, doesn't it? And I think people don't realise that. I think that's something that I'm trying to work on this year, is not worrying about how many likes I get on an Instagram photo or how big my following is or how many likes I get on a video on Facebook or whatever, or going viral or how much money I earn. These things aren't really important when you take into consideration like the important things in life. And it shouldn't take a moment where someone jumps off a bridge for you to think, hang on a minute, should I be working as much as I am, or should I be doing what I'm doing, when really these things that matter to me I'm not really putting enough time into. So yeah, I think this podcast has gone into a bit of a, I don't really know, but I think the point we're trying to make is, are you achieving what you want to achieve? And if you're not, life is really short. Figure out why not, and then just do these little things that you can do and just get yourself in better shape, and all of a sudden you'll realise like you can do something, you can be productive, you can get shit done, and then you'll be surprised how much that applies in all areas of your life, and that positive energy will just, it will generate a much greater level of success in your life. 100%, I believe that. I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, but I'm also a believer if you think something and don't take action to make it reality, then it isn't going to work. The law of attraction only works when you think of something and you take action on it. So you've got to think positively about everything you're doing. Have a really positive mindset.
What we're saying is, are you going after what you want to achieve, whatever that is? If you are and you're heading in the right direction, keep going and, you know, just pump it up and go as hard as you can for it. And if you're not heading for what you want to achieve, then how do you change course in order to achieve that and, you know, give it your maximum effort that you possibly can?
Yeah, and if you aren't on course, like, that isn't how it's always going to be. That you can turn that around, and that's what I think the most important thing is. Because most people aren't on course. Like, the people who are on course and are smashing everything, like I'm not smashing everything. There's heaps of stuff that I'm not doing, and there's heaps of things that Simon isn't doing. Like, we aren't sitting here like as these gurus who are smashing everything, because we're definitely not. And we're definitely self-aware enough to realise that there's so many things that we want to improve on, which is why we're doing the podcast, because we want to interview guests who can help teach us and give us more.
We are excited about the next one, aren't we?
Yeah, and I'm just excited to talk to everyone. Everyone's got, like, even if they haven't got to be someone who earns more money than me or someone who has a greater Instagram following. Like, this isn't a reason why I want to interview someone. I want to interview people because I want to get to know people and how they do things, because there's always something that you can take from someone that you can put into your life to make your life better. And I think everyone's got something that you can always benefit from, and you shouldn't validate someone on their job or on what they do, because when we meet someone, what's the first thing we say to them? What do you do? Which isn't really that important, because
never ask them, are you happy? You never go to them, hi, nice to meet you, are you happy?
Well, or you never say, who are you? Yeah. Tell me a bit more about you. It's just like, oh, hello, what's your name? What do you do? And we just judge people based on what they do for a living, and I think that's just wrong. So if you want to come on the podcast, it doesn't matter what you fucking do. We want to speak to you. If you've got a story or anything that you feel like might inspire someone into taking action to work towards the things that they want, then you're a perfect candidate to come and sit on this lovely sofa and talk to us, because we just want any kind of nuggets that will help people, and whether it's going to help me or Simon or someone who's listening, just to inspire people to realise that you don't have to live a life that society tells us we have to live, where we have to work 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to live that life and you just want that, that's completely fine, but just be happy in it and doing whatever you're doing, because I just feel like there's too many people that you'll see on the street that aren't actually that happy, and it's, do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
And that isn't the case everywhere at all. Like, I was places in Vietnam where there was no wealth and there was no social media followings or whatever, and the people didn't validate themselves from that, but they were just truly, genuinely happy people. And that makes you realise it isn't about, well, what do you do for a job? They all do the same job in Vietnam. They all have a moped. They all own cafes selling the best Vietnamese coffee in the world, they all do the same things. They can't go around and like validate themselves on who has the best job, who has the most money, or who drives the best car, and that isn't what the Be More brand is about. The Be More brand is about just making sure that you're aware that there isn't just this straight path that everyone has to follow, that you can do whatever it is you want to do. And I think you should be encouraged to do that, whether it's to quit your job and go do something different, or whether it's to go travelling, or whether it's to break up with your missus because she's making you miserable, or whether it's whatever it might be. Just go and do it and believe in yourself. And I think that's the most important thing. If you believe in yourself and you know the path you want to take, and you just take positive action to get you there, just go and do it. I think we should be fearless and just trust ourselves and just go and do what we want to do. I think that's something that we don't hear enough. Like if I was to hear that when I was growing up, that would have helped me a lot. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, because there's heaps of information that I've now learned through reading. I still don't apply it all myself. I'm guilty of that, and I wish I did. But if I was to listen to this kind of thing and I'd hear it every single week, it would drum into me like, hang on a minute, am I living my life to its fullest potential? If not, is there little things that I can do today to try and make that closer to what the perfect life that I want to live? And is the job I'm doing what I want to do forever? If it isn't, have I got a plan in place and how long I'm going to do this for? Have I got my finances in order to realise that if I do this, and this, then I can get out of my job faster? These little things that we don't really think about because we feel stuck and we feel isolated. It's claustrophobic, and it's what the world has become, because society tells us we have to do this certain X, Y and Z, and there's government in place making it more difficult to do this one, this and this, and there's rules in place, and it feels like, hang on a minute, there is no rules, my life should be lived how I want to live it.
It's a good note to end on.
Yeah?
Sure.
Hopefully that was productive. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, we will hopefully have a very eventful podcast going live next week with an owner of a supplement company. So if you have any questions that you might want us to ask an owner of a supplement company, let us know. So what goes into place, what systems there are, how many staff he has, or whatever questions
how he
you
got
think.
started.
Yeah, how
funding,
we got started.
financing.
These are things that we're probably going to ask anyway, because I feel like that add a lot of value. But if there's anything you feel like, if maybe you're thinking, I want to start a supplement company, or I want to start a clothing company, or you want to start some kind of business, and there's something that's making you not, or there's something that's making you procrastinate, what made this person go out and do it? And I think it will come down to what we've already spoke about today, but at the same time he might have some golden information that will help you then go and take action and start your business or start whatever it is that you're trying to pursue.
I'm super excited about this.
I'm very excited, and we're getting dinner afterwards, so
That's exciting.
it's going to be a great evening. And yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you very much.
Cheers guys.